There's a part of your home you've probably stopped noticing. Maybe it's a quiet corner by the door, a window you never open anymore, or a hallway that just exists. But in that silence, something else has been waiting. Not a superstition, not magic, just energy, the kind we feel when a room suddenly feels lighter when we walk into a space and our shoulders drop a little. Sometimes what's missing isn't more furniture or a new paint color. It's movement, it's sound. It's a signal that your home is still alive, still welcoming, still able to receive. A simple wind chime, yes, that delicate little object you've seen 100 times, can be that signal. When hung in the right place, it doesn't just decorate a space, it activates it. Not with loudness, but with presence. Its sound is subtle, but it stirs the air. It reminds energy to flow. It wakes up corners of your home that have felt emotionally stale, without you even realizing. This isn't about luck falling from the sky. It's about giving your space a gentle nudge, allowing it to breathe again, and in doing so, making room for what you've been quietly longing for: peace, clarity, and maybe even a little more ease. Today, we're not talking about trends or decor tips. We're talking about how something small, a single wind chime, can help shift the feel of your entire home. Not because it holds power on its own, but because of where you place it and how you allow it to move with the wind. So let's begin, not with a big change, but with a soft sound that reminds everything around it to move again. Part 1, that forgotten corner where the wind still visits. It's easy to overlook certain places in your home. The little corner behind the front door. The window above the kitchen sink you no longer open. That strip of hallway connecting two rooms but never really holding attention. We pass them every day, but we don't stop. We don't listen. And yet these are the places the wind still visits, quietly, softly, like an old friend trying not to intrude. And in those small, forgotten spaces, something remarkable can happen if we let it. This isn't about design. It's not about rearranging furniture or following a trend. It's about noticing. Because when energy stops moving in a home, we feel it, sometimes without even realizing. A room feels heavier. Our sleep becomes restless. Conversations start to echo with tension. There's no mess, nothing obvious, but something in the air feels off, as if the house itself is holding its breath. The solution, surprisingly simple. It begins with a sound, not loud, not demanding. A single wind chime, hung in the right place at the right height where the air can naturally move through it. When that breeze comes, and it always does, even if just once a day, the chime responds. Not with a noise, but with a whisper, a vibration. A reminder that energy is meant to flow. You don't need to believe in anything mystical for this to work. You just need to believe in your space, its ability to shift, to support you, to breathe with you. Because your home is not a container. It's not a silent box where life simply happens. It's an extension of you. And if part of it has been ignored, neglected, or simply overlooked, chances are a part of you feels the same. A wind chime placed in one of these quiet corners becomes more than decoration. It becomes a permission slip. It tells the energy and you that it's safe to move again. That silence doesn't have to mean stillness. That quiet places in a home can still carry intention, still serve a purpose, still hold light. Think of the back door no one uses, or the window facing the side yard where nothing really grows. These are not wasted spaces, they're waiting spaces. And when you hang something as simple as a wind chime there, you're not filling the void. You're acknowledging it, giving it a role. You're saying, I see you, I hear you. Let's wake up. And it does. Not instantly, not dramatically, but subtly, gently, the mood begins to change. You walk past, and instead of silence, there's sound. Not a loud clatter, but a delicate tone that feels alive, like the house is exhaling. It's no coincidence that homes filled with small, intentional sounds often feel more welcoming. A bubbling fountain, a clock ticking softly, a cat purring. These sounds don't interrupt. They ground. They give rhythm to our days. A wind chime adds to that rhythm, especially when it comes from a place you used to ignore. For many people, especially those who live alone or in homes that have gone through change, divorce, illness, loss, there are parts of the house that feel emotionally cold. They're not haunted, but they are hollow. They carry absence, and we tend to avoid them as if our presence might stir up something we're not ready to feel. But a wind chime is gentle. It enters first. It doesn't demand anything of you. It just waits for the breeze and then speaks on your behalf. Its voice is subtle but full of presence. And that's often all we need to start reclaiming parts of our life that went quiet too long ago. If you're wondering where to begin, choose a place in your home that feels like it's paused. A hallway no one stops in. A window that rarely opens. The shaded corner of your porch. Don't worry about what the neighbors will think or whether it fits your decor. This isn't about display, it's about connection. And when the wind does visit, and it will, you'll hear it. You'll feel it. A little shift, a soft reminder. You may notice yourself lingering in that spot longer than usual. Maybe you'll start opening that window more often. Maybe a plant suddenly thrives in the new energy. It's small, yes, but it matters. Because when we tend to the forgotten corners of our home, we're also tending to the quieter parts of ourselves, the parts that haven't had a voice in a while. And isn't that what we all want? To feel seen, to feel that our presence matters, even in the stillness. There's nothing magical about a wind chime, but there is something powerful about choosing to place beauty and sound in a space that was once ignored. It changes how you move through your home, how you relate to it, how it supports you. Because when energy flows freely, even just through one small sound in one forgotten place, everything begins to feel more aligned. The home becomes lighter, you become clearer, and suddenly what felt stuck starts to move. So if there's a corner in your home that you've stopped noticing, ask yourself, what could live there? Not furniture, not clutter, just a whisper, a breeze, a note that says this space is no longer asleep. That's all a wind chime really is. A sound that says this space is awake again. Part 2, your front door, where your home takes its first breath. There's a quiet truth most people overlook. Your front door doesn't just welcome people, it welcomes energy. It's where your home takes its first breath. And just like a body that inhales shallowly, a home with a blocked or forgotten entry begins to feel tired, slow, and somehow off. You felt it before. That moment you walk into someone's house and sense a heaviness, even if everything looks perfectly fine. Or maybe it's your own home, where you return each day and feel more drained instead of uplifted. Often the front door holds the answer, not in how it looks, but in how it lives. It's not about color, size, or curb appeal. It's about flow. About whether your entry point allows life to move easily between the world outside and the space you call yours. If energy can't get through the front door, if it's always closed, cluttered, blocked, or lifeless, then everything behind it starts to reflect that same stuckness. And it doesn't happen all at once. It's subtle. Over time, motivation dips. Conversations dull. Even the air feels heavier, as if the house has stopped exhaling. That's where a wind chime comes in, not as decoration, but as a breath of life. Hanging a wind chime near your front door isn't about charm or whimsy. It's about function. It's about giving your home a pulse again. When the wind stirs and the chime responds, something opens. The sound isn't just beautiful, it's useful. It clears, it activates. It reminds your house and you that energy is allowed in, that good things are welcome, and that this space isn't closed off to possibility. The movement of air becomes more than weather. It becomes a message. This home is listening. But not all front doors are equal. Some are buried behind overgrown plants or shadowed by porches that never see sunlight. Others open directly onto busy streets or face structures that feel imposing, like telephone poles, alleyways, or even another home's front door. You may not have noticed it, but your body has. That flinch you feel every time you walk out. That hesitation when you arrive home. The door feels a little tense. That tension adds up. And so does the stillness. The wind chime, placed just right, on the side of the frame, high enough to move freely, doesn't fix these things, but it softens them. It creates a buffer, a gentle in-between. Every time it rings, it's like the house is taking a fresh inhale, clearing out what doesn't belong and making room for what does. It's not about believing in magic. It's about understanding the simple physics of flow. Movement creates movement. Sound stirs emotion. Presence changes space. In homes where grief has lived, or arguments linger, or simply too many years have passed without joy, the entry often feels frozen, not visibly, but emotionally. There's a stiffness to it. You close the door too quickly, you forget to look outside, you stop welcoming people in. But what if you could reverse that gently? What if the solution wasn't drastic but quiet? What if one soft sound every now and then could remind the house to breathe? That's the true purpose of a wind chime at the door. It's not to impress, it's to shift, to call in something different, something lighter. And even if you live in an apartment or shared space, the effect remains. A small chime hung from the inside facing the front door near a vent or draft can still do its work. It's not about wind, it's about intention. And yes, you can be practical too. Choose materials that suit your space. Metal chimes tend to feel crisp, sharp, clarifying, good for homes that need a lift. Wood or bamboo brings warmth, grounding, and steadiness, perfect for homes that feel anxious or scattered. Listen before you buy. The tone should feel like something you want to come home to. Something that says, I'm here, I'm open, I'm ready. And once it's up, let it be. Don't fixate on how often it rings or whether it's working. The energy shift is not something you measure, it's something you feel. You'll notice it in small ways. The door feels easier to open. The air seems cleaner. You stop dreading that moment of stepping inside. Maybe guests comment that your home feels good, even if they can't explain why. That's not an accident. That's energy responding to energy. Your front door, after all, is the face your home shows the world. And like any face, it tells a story. It can be welcoming or guarded, open or tight, alive or blank. When we add a chime to that face, we're giving it expression again. We're saying this is not just a wall with a handle. This is a threshold, a space that matters, a space that listens and responds and remembers. If you've been feeling disconnected from your home lately, or like it's just a place to sleep and store things, not a place that holds you emotionally, start here. Don't start in the bedroom. Don't start with a full house cleanse. Just stand at your front door. Look at it with fresh eyes. Notice how it feels. Notice what's missing. And then perhaps let one simple chime bring it back to life. Because a front door that breathes is a home that heals. A wind chime doesn't just call the wind. It calls attention to the entrance. It invites your awareness back to the place where you cross the line between outside and in, between the world and your world. And when that line becomes soft, musical, and awake, something shifts in you too. You begin to arrive differently. And that difference, quiet as it may seem, is often the beginning of everything else. Part 3, where stillness should stay still and the wind no longer moves. Stillness has a place in every home. Some rooms are meant to hum with quiet. Others are made to hold warmth without movement. And when we place the wrong kind of energy in the wrong space, even with good intentions, it can stir up more than sound. It can create imbalance. That's what often happens when we hang wind chimes in rooms that aren't meant for vibration. Places like the bedroom, the bathroom, kitchen, spaces where stillness is sacred and where the wind no longer moves naturally. It may seem harmless, a beautiful chime above the bed, a soft tinkle near the bathtub, but the impact is deeper than aesthetics. It touches something in the air. In rooms that are supposed to cradle you, a wind chime, even the most delicate, can become an uninvited guest. Its presence keeps the energy stirred when what you actually need is rest. Pause, restoration. Let's start with the bedroom. It's one of the most private, energetically sensitive places in the home. It holds your breath when you're asleep. It gathers your thoughts when you're not speaking. The energy here isn't meant to be loud or activated. It's meant to settle, to hold you without asking for your attention. When a wind chime hangs in this space, it brings motion into a place that's designed to be still. Even if it doesn't ring often, its very presence carries a vibration, a readiness to move. And that readiness, over time, can wear down your ability to fully rest. Many people report subtle disturbances, shallow sleep, dreams that feel rushed or uneasy, a sense of emotional exhaustion even after hours in bed. They think it's stress or diet or age, but sometimes it's the energy around them refusing to stay still. Your nervous system picks it up. Even if your mind doesn't notice, your body does. It's like trying to fall asleep next to a ticking clock that never quite fades into the background. You start to adjust, but you never quite relax. Bathrooms are another example. They're already filled with movement, water running, air venting, doors opening and closing. But the energy here leans heavily toward what's called release. This is where things leave the body, where emotions sometimes surface unexpectedly, where we literally and symbolically let go. A wind chime in this space does more than add sound. It amplifies what's already heavy. It circulates energy that's meant to move down and out, not linger and echo. Instead of clearing the space, it can trap the vibration and carry it into the rest of the house. People sometimes place chimes here thinking it will purify or uplift the mood. But sound that's meant to cleanse has to have somewhere to go. And in a confined space like a bathroom, especially one without windows or natural airflow, the sound has nowhere to move. It reflects, repeats, lingers, and so do the emotions we thought we were flushing away. Then there's the kitchen, the heart of the home, full of warmth, nourishment, and shared moments, but also full of fire. In an energetic sense, the kitchen is ruled by activity, heat, timing, rhythm. Introducing a wind chime here, especially one made of metal or wood, can compete with the already complex balance of elements. Fire and movement do not always go hand in hand. In fact, too much motion here can disrupt digestion, both literal and emotional. It's not about superstition. It's about harmony, about how certain sounds can agitate instead of soothe, especially when they come from a place not meant to echo. It's important to remember, wind chimes are not just sound makers, they are energy shifters. When placed in the wrong area, they don't go silent, they redirect. A chime that never rings because the wind doesn't reach it isn't neutral. It's stuck, dormant. It begins to collect what's around it, dust, yes, but also energy. Still air, stale feelings, unspoken tension. Over time, that chime becomes a quiet magnet for things left unresolved. So where should stillness stay still? In the bedroom, where we need deep rest. In the bathroom, where we need quiet release. In the kitchen, where we need stable warmth. In these places, the absence of sound is not a void, it's a gift. It allows your body to reset. It gives your emotions a place to settle. It lets the house hold you instead of calling you to attention. If you already have a chime in one of these rooms, ask yourself, do I feel more rested here or more distracted? More nourished or a little off balance? You don't have to remove it with guilt. Just observe. Listen not with your ears, but with your nervous system. How does this room feel after a few minutes of silence? Can you breathe deeper? Can you soften your shoulders? Or do you feel the air holding something that won't settle? There's a kind of peace that comes when we let quiet be quiet. Not every space needs to speak. Not every corner needs activation. Stillness, when respected, becomes healing. It reminds us that not all energy is about movement. Some of it is about rest, recovery, reflection. And that kind of energy, when honored, gives back tenfold. In the end, it's not about rules, it's about listening to your home, to your body, to the way one gentle sound can lift or disrupt depending on where it lives. A wind chime is powerful, but like anything powerful, it needs placement, purpose, respect. And in rooms where you go to feel safe, to release, to simply be, maybe the most powerful thing you can offer is silence. Part 4, when your wind chime is tangled, dusty, or mute, it's telling you something. Sometimes the object isn't broken, it's just forgotten. And in that forgetting, it starts to speak in a different way, not with sound, but with silence. A wind chime that's dusty, tangled, or no longer sings with the wind isn't just neglected, it's holding a message. Not dramatic, not mystical, just quietly honest. It's saying something here has paused, and maybe it's time to notice. We don't always think of our homes as reflections of our emotional lives, but they are. The drawer you never open, the corner you avoid, the wind chime that used to make you smile but now hangs motionless. These small details collect the story we no longer say out loud. They carry the mood we haven't named. A tangled chime is more than a twisted piece of string. It's a sign that flow has been interrupted, that something once free has gotten stuck. It happens slowly. First, the wind passes and the chime doesn't move quite right. Then the dust settles. Then the strings tighten one loop around another. You mean to fix it, but time keeps moving. And one day it just blends into the background, like a thought you stopped finishing, like a part of yourself you stopped checking in with. What's dangerous isn't the silence. It's the normalization of silence in a place that used to hold music. And not just literal sound, but movement, ease, and emotional breath. A muted wind chime doesn't hurt you, but it quietly shifts the tone of your space. It turns what was once alive into a question mark, and your body feels that even if your eyes don't. You may notice it when the room starts to feel a little heavy, when something's off but you can't explain it, when you stop lingering in a space and start rushing through it. These are subtle signals, not urgent, but real, and often they are reflected in the objects around you, especially the ones that used to carry intention like a wind chime. Because a chime is not passive, it's a collaborator. It works with the wind, it works with your energy. When it's clean and clear, it moves, it sings. It invites freshness in. But when it becomes tangled, it stops echoing forward and starts echoing backward. Meaning, instead of inviting flow, it starts holding onto what's stagnant. It becomes a symbol of what hasn't moved, not just physically, but emotionally. This is especially true in homes where change has been hard, after loss, after illness, after a shift in relationships or purpose. We leave things hanging, literally and emotionally, because we're not ready to untangle them, and that's okay. But eventually the silence becomes the dominant note, and we begin to forget what it felt like to hear something light and unexpected, something that moves us gently like a chime on a breezy afternoon. Cleaning or replacing a wind chime is not just maintenance, it's energetic housekeeping. It's the moment you say, I see you. I remember why you're here, and I'm ready to hear from you again. You don't need ceremony. You don't need a ritual. Just attention. Just honesty. Pick it up. Look at the dust. Untangle the threads. Ask yourself what else in your life feels twisted, paused, or overlooked in the same way. And if it's broken, really broken, let it go. Not because it failed, but because it finished its work. We often keep objects out of guilt or nostalgia, but energy doesn't flow through guilt. It flows through clarity, through release. A chime that no longer functions is not sacred, it's spent. It has done its part. Keeping it when it no longer rings is like keeping a conversation that already ended. The silence becomes heavier than it needs to be. Replace it when you're ready, not out of obligation, but out of intention. Let the new one carry a fresh tone. Choose something you want to hear often. Something that reflects where you are now, not just where you've been. Because your home, like your life, changes, and it deserves objects that change with it. Listen to how the new chime sounds. Is it gentle, bright, grounding? That tone matters more than color or design. It's the emotional temperature of your space. It's what greets you in passing. What hums in the background when your thoughts are quiet. What fills the room when no one is speaking. You're not just decorating, you're tuning your home like an instrument. And that's the gift of being attentive to small things. A tangled wind chime is never just a wind chime. It's a reminder that you've paused something, that energy has stopped flowing, that beauty still hangs there waiting to be remembered. And with a bit of care or a fresh start, it can begin to move again. Because sound doesn't need to be loud to be healing. Sometimes it just needs to return. Maybe what you've noticed through all of this isn't just about a wind chime. Maybe it's about the quiet relationship you have with your home, the places where you let energy in, the places where it gets stuck, and the small choices you make, sometimes unconsciously, that shape how you feel every day. Sound is vibration, and vibration is movement. At a basic biological level, human beings respond to rhythm. Our hearts beat. Our breath flows. Our nervous system listens to the tone of everything around us, often before we consciously realize it. That's why the smallest change in your environment, a soft sound, a shift in airflow, even the way light hits a room, can have a real, measurable impact on how you feel. What we explored together wasn't about superstition or belief. It was about awareness, about paying attention to what your home might be telling you, not through problems, but through silence. Through tension, through stillness in the wrong places or the right ones. The truth is your home is already talking. A wind chime just gives it a voice. When you place it where energy needs to move, it supports you. When you avoid placing it where stillness needs to stay, it respects you. And when you notice it, when you clean it, adjust it, listen to it, it becomes something more than a decorative object. It becomes part of the way your home cares for you in return. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, not just to me, but to the space around you. May your home feel a little lighter after this. May the next breeze carry something new with it. And may every soft sound you hear be a gentle reminder. That energy is always moving, and so are you. Take good care. And let your space breathe. It's ready when you are.